One of our last videos, we were talking about the idea of change and transition and how oftentimes leaders surprise the organization, surprise their employees, surprise managers, supervisors, others, because they've been thinking about something for a long time. And then when they finally announce it, they think, hey, everybody ought to join in with us. I want to kind of continue that discussion and follow up on that a little bit more about this idea of transition. Again, it's the notion that oftentimes it's not the change that gets us in trouble. It's a transition, and not even so much a process, but it's how do we allow people to emotionally go with us. A lot of times when we think of change, we think of simply their employees. And so when we say, hey, this is what we're doing, do this next, because they get paid, they should do it. What we neglect to realize is that all of us are emotional beings. And even for some of us, we don't like that idea. We wrestle with that. But we're all emotional beings, and we all deal with change differently. We oftentimes compare change in the process, this thing called transition, to a grieving process. You know, we go through shock or surprise into denial. We might get angry, we get confused, all the way to maybe we get to where we can't accept it. The challenge is, are we allowing our employees time to go through that emotional journey? There's an ending when change happens. We're losing something is stopping. And that's what leads us to this notion that there's a grieving process. And what I'm encouraging our viewers to consider, our leaders, managers, supervisors of organizations, are we willing to be sensitive enough to our employees to give them space and time and do some specific strategies to allow them to come along emotionally? For example, one specific strategy is, can we involve them and give them time to process why the change is occurring? Oftentimes we don't share the rationale, so they don't know why, so they can't begin to buy in or take ownership of it. Can we allow folks in our organization to tell stories? What was it like before the change? Or now that they see the change coming, what about the past or what they see ending did they like or didn't they like? How do we help them to go through this ending into the neutral zone where there's a lot of confusion and chaos? Maybe the change itself isn't 100% clear, all the way into new beginnings where they can take ownership, they can have buy-in, they can find ways to see how do they fit. So as you continue to consider this idea of change management, change and transition, think about how do you support your employees to go through an emotional journey with you, to go through what it is they think they might be losing or what's ending and very well may be ending, to help them come along with us so that they have buy-in, so they have ownership, and will come out the other side of change better than when we started and not feeling damaged or devalued or hurt. So again, as we look at the change, think about the emotional journey we take through it. Thank you.